In this video, we will look at SQL injections. SQL injections is a very old problem, but we have to be very careful because the consequences are too great. So let's review the problem. In SQL injection, suppose that we have such a query that gets the city from a web form, and then we decide to use the city input directly in our query by adding it. Basically, you should avoid such dynamic SQL queries, especially if the input is coming from the user. So what can go wrong here? Well, if the user has entered a correct city, then you will end up a proper query. However, if the user enters something like Dubai and drop table orders, then you have a serious problem. Because as you see, you may end up with a drop table order statement following the original query. These two dashes also serve as whatever comes after this commented out, and you may lose your entire data if you're not careful. You should not rely on the data that is sent by the client side. What can we do about it? Well, there are a few solutions. The first solution might be to use stored procedures. So in this example, I have used SQL data adapter, but it doesn't have to be. So in general, stored procedures are relatively safe, assuming you do not use dynamic SQL inside. At least it will protect you against the user input. Another way to tackle the problem is to use parameters. In this case, we are utilizing the ADO.NET parameters, and this will help us to tackle the problem of SQL injections. And lastly, the last solution is to use an ORM like Entity Framework or Hibernate, which offers us almost built-in protection with respect to SQL injection. But still be aware of possible user inputs and always try to validate if you have a potential dangerous operation. Always try to validate. In the next section, we will look at not knowing about debugging tools.